Hello, guys, and welcome to Behind the Bunker, episode 495. 5 more shows till our 500th episode. My name is Todd Ansich. Thank you for joining me. This is podcast number 375. Welcome to Behind the Bunker, our weekly paintball show. You can find us anywhere you get your favorite podcast, and if that's where you're listening to us, thank you for joining us. Make sure you guys subscribe to our podcast and download us every week. Just not me here in the studio. I have virtually with me Joe Kimson from Flag Raiders Paintball.
Greetings and thanks for tuning in. There's feedback coming because I'm trying to turn off the sound on my computer, and I apologize. I will sort it out in a second, but I want to be able to interact in the chat. Boom. So I'll turn it over to you guys while I figure this out.
Well, why don't we turn it over to Garvin Sharma from Turritech Industries.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Gavin from Turritech Industries, and I'm so grateful that you've tuned in this evening. But it looks we're a little bit shy in the viewer department, so make sure you hit that like and share and comment as the show goes on so people know what you're doing on a Monday night right now. Behind the Bunker, baby, Monday night.
I know what I'm doing. I'm hanging out with my friend Josh Zuby-Zabrickus.
Yeah, buddy. Hello. La, la, la. Welcome to the show this evening. Please, as Gavin said, give it a like and share. I know you hear it on every bloody YouTube video that you see in Facebook page, but it does make a difference, and we do appreciate it very much.
Yeah. Nice to see Bab Spisser in there. Says, greetings, Brokeback Bunker boys. Nice to see Charles Holton. Where have you been, sir? Haven't seen you in a while. Raheem Bricktop, Jones, Mike, Simeon. Nice to see all you guys. As well, I see you guys joining us in the YouTube chat. We have Kevin and Dwayne King, Wounded Beekeeper, and the Zaniac Smith. Couple things on the show tonight we can chat about. Congratulations to Steve Lane. He sent me this photo. He's one of the gentlemen that bought some patches. You can see there. It's on his hat, front and center as it should be. He says, thanks for the patch. I had to make room for it to fit on my hat. And thanks for the stickers, too. Holy crap, Batman, he says.
Stickers.
Absolutely. Anyone that gets patches, I also send out a handful of stickers with as well. And I think I only have like 4 patches left. So if you really want one, get at me this week. Exalt. Do you guys like their new bayonets?
They're pretty cool.
Fire!
Yeah. I don't know if I like the green one or the gray one better, but
I'm partial to gray.
I think you just get both.
I like the green one. What about a green and black one? I guess they need it for World War II camouflage, like on the Mustangs.
I'm partial to the Battleship Gray. It's very sexy.
I don't remember anybody asking you. Then we have the fire emoji bayonets. Those are pretty cool.
Fire.
Did I hear right? Are they banning the poop emoji? Not banning it, but did they take it away? Or does it still exist?
It's chocolate ice cream. It's not food.
Mr. Whippy, it's been flushed.
Yeah.
Has it?
Yeah. As well as the crying emoji, I think. I don't know. There's a bunch of them that's kicking off the market. But doesn't matter. If you want a fire emoji, head on over to Exalt and get one of their bayonets. A couple other things from Exalt. You can get the EMAC or ETHA 2 aluminum back cap and thumb screw. Make your gun a little more fancy and easy changeable. Also back in stock with Exalt, while we're talking about them, their tank cases, loader cases, and their lens cases. So if you guys want something special for your new season, head on over and get those now.
Me a case.
And another highlight was released this week, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't had a chance to see it, go check out our Facebook feeds, and you can see that.
Can I just say, three-peat, baby, three-peat. 3 weeks in a row, I've made the highlight reel.
I know, but you were having a fit when you weren't on it, so I kind of have to pigeonhole you in on that one. That really was Zuby's thing last week.
That wasn't a fit. That was an epic meltdown of childish proportions.
And speaking of childish, Steve Couchy from Australia just put the poop emoji in the chat. So good for you.
So it's still
going
anywhere.
They still have it in Australia.
I need my bell.
Yeah, see here they don't have it. So, hey, you know what? I have to find out where it is. Remember we had someone make emojis for Behind the Bunker? Do you remember that?
I still have it on my phone.
Yeah. I forget where we got them from.
Yeah, I can't remember the app. It was a sticker package.
That's right.
But yeah,
So,
if I find those again, I'll put them out there, because there's even one that has a behind the bunker poop emoji.
that's when we were doing other things besides just genres.
That's right. That was, yes. David Sane sent a message. He said, just wanted to say I've listened to the older podcasts at work to keep me awake. Thank you for all the good times. A lot of you guys are listening to the podcast version of the show, and we never really hear from you. So anytime that you guys send us a message, I try to at least give you a little bit of little what's up.
Recognition.
Yeah. So if you guys are listening there, we'd like to hear from you. So a couple things. We'll go through events real quick. Jurassic Park, March 26 to 28. Head on over and check that one out at Battlefield. Mission Masters have released their dates for this year, 2021. Make sure you guys check them out, including Aliens vs. Predators Total Carnage, April 24th to 25th. And for Super Game Indiana, make sure you guys join the red team and play for our man Brandon B-Rad Page. World at War Crimson Dawn, April 9th to 11th, but we're not really sure where that is.
Oh, it's in French, like...
March 26th to March 28th, Jurassic at Battlefield Orlando. Make sure you guys get signed up for that. And our friend Barney Alamo is playing on the purple side with Alyssa, so make sure you guys head on over and check that out. We have lots to get to on the show tonight, guys. We've got your mail time segment. We're going to be talking about what is the worst weather that you guys would play in. We're going to talk about, we asked you guys to submit some topics or some ideas of who we would play if we came out with the BTB movie. You guys came up with some good ones there. We'll get to that. We have Price is Right, Custom Corner, and a lot more. But before we do anything else, we're going to go and check out Joe's Weekly Vault segment, guys. When we get back, we'll go right into some mail time.
Hey, it's Joe from Flaggers Paintball here with another segment of From the Vault, where we go back in history, back in the early days of paintball, and look at some neat gear, neat stuff that I have in my collection. Today, we are going to look at this. This is made by Eagle Industries. They're now located in Virginia Beach, Virginia, but they used to be located in St. Louis, Missouri, and they made all kinds of crazy high-end tactical gear long before Condor was around or any of the manufacturers like that. But we would use the Eagle vest. We'd also use one of these drop-down leg pouches, and they're designed to hold four M16 mags, but we would use them, and they would hold the USI 80-round pods. These are kind of neat. They're made by USI, which was located on the east coast of the U.S., but they had these unbreakable, they always worked, great lids that would seal your paintballs. You could put them in and keep everything sealed, ready to go. But these Eagle things had a lifetime guarantee. Any of their products were lifetime guaranteed. Fantastic. And they were available at the time in black, green, and woodland camouflage. Pretty cool stuff. You've been watching Behind the Bunker from the Vault. See you next time. Pew pew. Cool. Well, that was my Eagle vest. Now, you have to think back 25 or 30 years ago when there was really only Eagle Industries was making super high-end tactical gear. Blackhawk was like a fledgling company that was making, offshore copies of the Eagle stuff. And then you really only had military surplus, Alice packs or the Molly system wasn't even invented then. Everything was still Alice packs. You were using M16 pouches. So
I remember when Joe was on the Molly. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, on top of her.
He kept touching me.
Anyway,
you're so smooth.
It's when he installed on the furry walls.
I'm trying to explain the history of paintball, but if you only want to mock me, then I'll just go do another podcast with other people that are going to treat me nicer. But anyway, back to what I was trying to say is like the Eagle stuff, and Gavin probably still has some Eagle stuff. Josh, you do. I know Todd still has some Eagle vests. That stuff was like guaranteed for life. It was fantastic, but it was really, ahead of its time. And, we were using that for paintball and airsoft as well. So it was quite functional. And then, as companies like Condor came out and Whiskey 24 and some of those other companies, guys started getting, geared up. But really until MagFed and Airsoft took off, people were quite content to use pod packs and other silliness for various genres of paintball they played.
And to answer your question, Joe, yes, I still have 3 Eagle vests, which are 20 years plus, and still in pristine condition and lifetime guarantee, but I will never have to send it in for warranty. So
Now,
I've been pleased with that.
Joe actually made a historical mistake. I don't know if many of you caught it, but I myself have not historically been able to find any Eagle stuff for purchase. So no, I don't
can
know
hook you
any of it.
I have some Eagle. I might have an Eagle vest, an extra Eagle vest kicking around.
There are a number in a container, maybe in a sea can, near to you, that could be washed.
A newish one. I remember I sent one back. We had one. We used to use them for rentals for the G.I. Joe package, and I sent one back because the Velcro was not Velcroing anymore, and it was an olive green one, and they returned it with brand new Woodland pouches and Velcro on it to us. So it's kind of cool. Good for them.
Nice.
Mail time. The mail's here.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's mail time, my time to shine, where I get to rip open my sack and read some of the correspondence that you've sent in. Now, in our neck of the woods, it is a slow mail day because we had Snowmageddon Part 2. So we only have a few questions, but we are watching you in the chats. And if you have any questions, you can post up there, and hopefully we'll get to it this evening. So the first question comes to us from John Jones, and he wants to know, is there any major difference in playing styles and which is easier in transition? Woodland to tourney or tourney to woodland, magfed to either? So what's the easiest way or to transition from one genre to another?
Joe, why don't you start with that? I'm just I'm taking the opportunity to like and share this to all my friends, so I'm going to let you start.
So the easiest way to move from one to the other.
So the question, so the question is the difference in major playing, or the major difference in playing styles. So which is easier in transition? So we have some scenario / woods ball. We have some tourney ball, magfed. What is the easiest to jump from genre to genre?
The easiest is probably from, I don't know. If you have recreational paintball Saturday and Sunday, you're playing with a hopper fed or a small capacity hopper. Then on the other side of this other end, you have, mag fed, and then the far end, the far extreme end, then you have speedball. It's probably there's two totally different types of play though.
Say the word.
No,
it's in your head.
Two different kinds of genres. Guys are going to be hammered tonight. Two different kind of genres. Like speedball is, there's lots of strategy, of course, but there's also you're shooting a lot more paint, so there's suppression. Then if you go to magfed, there's lots of strategy, and you have limited capacity. Amount of paint you're firing, and plus what you can carry. In speedball you can carry nearly an unlimited amount with 200 in your hopper and 10 pods with 150. You're carrying enough paint, and that's only you're out there for like a 15-minute game. Yeah. Whereas if you're playing magfed, you could be out for a 45-minute game and with only 120 rounds. So they're both completely different. I think that you could, if you were a good, solid recreational paintball player, I think you could transition probably to magfed and hold your own quite well. If you were a fantastic recreational player and you got dropped into a speedball game, I think the learning curve would be higher because of rates of fire. Guys don't mind getting shot. If you're worried about getting overshot, as in rec ball, you get hit once or twice, maybe 3 times. Or if you're in a volley and someone's peppering you, then you might get hit by several people simultaneously. But in speedball, one guy could hit you multiple times and then continue shooting just to make sure you're eliminated. So I think the transition would be an easier transition would be to magfed, and a transgression would be to speedball.
Yeah. I agree with Joe. I think having played a lot of different styles of paintball, I always the only people that I'm afraid of are the guys that play, especially the young guys, but the guys that play on the rental field or the rec ball field all the time. They're there every week, and they've been doing that for a number of years. When they step onto the speedball field, okay, yes, speedball has a different set of rules, but they already have that field awareness, which is something that a lot of people getting into speedball don't have. And because they have a good core of and when you're playing on the rental field or the scenario field, you're usually playing by yourself. Let's be honest. I mean, you're out there as a weekend warrior. Yes, even if your friends are out there, you get separated faster on a scenario field than you do on the speedball field. And you get out to the speedball field, and I see them doing so much better, and they're so coachable, and they've already got the basics down. I would say getting into pump, that's something that you'd want to have a solid background in. I wouldn't start with pump, nor would I start with magfed, because no disrespect to guys playing magfed, but you're starting with a bit of a handicap. You have limited rounds, and I think you start where Joe said. You start on the scenario field, and you get the good understanding of how to move and how to shoot and how to conserve paint when you're down. And there's a lot going on with magfed. You have to worry about feeding your magazines and knowing how much is left in each mag and how many mags you have left and how much air you're managing, how close you can get before you get into a firefight. Let's say you only have 2 or 3 rounds left in your mags. Not a good time to get into a firefight at close quarters. So, I mean, there's a lot more going on. But I think starting on that rental field and playing every week is going to get you the best stepping stone. I mean, the guys that come out and they see speedball on Go Sports and they come out and play, even if they've only played a couple times, that's a huge learning curve, But I'm thinking, Joe, like, you think of the guys out at the field that used to play on Tuesday nights and on weekends, and then they jump into speedball and they pick it up right away, and usually start out pretty good. They've already skipped a couple divisions just because they've got that under them, but.
Well, the skill level on a Tuesday night at the outdoor is reasonably high as well. But as a beginner player, you can certainly be airdropped in and play without any problem, because the people you're playing with know who they're shooting. No one has really anything to prove, and they just will shoot you one time. Yeah. So Tuesday night is an excellent time, but the skill level on the Tuesday night is pretty amazing and fun.
Then you got Bab Spisser says magfed is more cardio. So there's that. And then Joseph says anyone who started with pump guns are dating themselves. Yes, but here's the thing. The most deadly player is a guy who plays pump and has played pump for years. You do not want to mess with a guy like that on the field, because either he's really good or he's not. He's just stupid. But most times than not, he's really good, and you want him on your team, and you want to be aware of where he is when he's on the other side of the field.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right, next question comes to us from Jason Diff, and Jason wants to know, when are those Tiger Stripe hoodies coming out for sale? Winter's almost over in Arizona, so he needs to get those in ASAP.
If you message Josh is selling his right now.
Check eBay. It's on Prices Right later.
Yeah, he's kept it for the mandatory 2 months after his Christmas gift, so now he can sell it. So,
hey, everyth's for sale, right?
Yeah. I am honestly thinking of doing it. The problem is we want to wait till spring. Just there's more ability for us to put the money out and to get them going. But you know what? Maybe I will put a call out. If you guys are watching right now, although in YouTube or Facebook land, post up if you would be at least interested in one. And if there's enough of you guys, maybe I'll put an order form together and we'll see how many we can get. We have to make it worth our while, otherwise per unit it goes up. So.
But in the interim, the swag shop is still open, so you can grab a T-shirt while you wait.
Yeah.
Some jeggings, whatever strikes your fancy. Absolutely. Yep. But
and you guys can order whatever style hoodie you want with the logo on it, and whatever size you want. So if you want woodland, dark woodland, you want tiger stripe, you want whatever the camos that we'll have available, you guys can have in small, medium, all the way up to whatever, and then choose whatever size or style you want. You can do a couple if you want too. So, and how much are they? I don't know. I'm going to tell you right now. They are not cheap. They're rather expensive because they're designery kind of hoodies with the pattern. But I'll get a price and I'll post it up on and we'll let you guys know. And there is no place for Velcro patch, but you can certainly sew them on.
Bab. I have olive green Velcro available and black, so we could put it on. I have some 4-inch stuff here.
There you go. Zane Smith wants to know if there's tiger stripe thongs. There will be. Yes. Bag of Chips has already asked for some repeatedly, so we're going to try to get you some of those.
And the tiger stripe thong will only stay tiger stripe for so long. It just becomes brown after that.
Aw, Gavin.
What?
Oh, desert camo. That's nice.
Damn, I ruined the show. All right, next question comes to us from, let me just check the name, Andrew Capitan. And this is really relevant to Canadians, and I know it's making the news around the paintball world. It's, what can we do to see Bill C-21 does not affect paintball negatively, specifically the MagFed community, in the near future? Does anybody want to sort of give a Twitter version of what Bill C-21 is for those who are internationally tuning in this evening?
Josh, do you know?
Not with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, I haven't read the bill, and I haven't actually looked into it. I've been so busy. I know that it's going to affect our industry, but I haven't actually taken the time to educate myself on it. So to be honest with you, I don't know. Joe, if you want to have some thoughts
I can chime in. It's Bill C-21. It talks about the banning. The Canadian government wants to ban replica air guns, airsoft guns, replica firearms, the stuff that's used in the movie industry. Ban it so it would become prohibited. So therefore, airsoft, as we know it, the guns are a 1-to-1 scale of a real firearm. So they would ban those. And would it affect paintball? Yes, it could affect paintball in the fact that the paintball markers that look like real firearms, i.e. the TMC, the T15, the Milsig, would likely run into some problems and perhaps face a ban if this goes through. I think you could probably model what's happening, what could happen here to what the Australian market is like. They do allow the EMG because it doesn't resemble a real firearm, and they do allow the Stormer. Could we fit into that category? Yes. Although you may have problems with a mag looking like a real 30-round mag. So that's kind of that's just come out, and the bill has gone through one reading.
It's the first reading. Yes.
Parliament. It needs 3 readings, and it goes to the Senate. It typically takes 15 months. We have an election. Will we have an election in the summer when the pandemic ends and it'll have to start again? Will it be a minority election? Likely. Will it go through? We don't know. But what you can do in the meantime, I think, is you could probably write your MP, because this is federal, and just say that you don't support that. It's a sport. It's played by families, and it's paintball and airsoft was one of the few activities that people could participate in during the pandemic. And I think the government's not only they're looking at this, from a replica firearm, but I think they have to look at the economics as well. Like airsoft and paintball in MagFed and airsoft activities, as far as stores, they don't employ a lot of people, but they certainly employ people. And in a country that has lost several 100,000 jobs due to the pandemic, if we can keep a few more Canadians employed during the pandemic and post-pandemic in a prosperous, thriving industry, then I think the government needs to look hard at what they can do to make paintball and airsoft, this particular genre, if you will, of paintball and airsoft, legal, and how can it coexist as well. If it means licensing, if I need to license my TMC, so be it.
Yeah.
I'll license my TMC. But I think they have to look at also the economics. Look at all the airsofters and the paintballers and all these guys that come together. This year was different. 2020 was different, but in previous years and in the future, these guys all go out to eat afterwards. They buy all kinds of stuff. They buy equipment, they buy gear. That's all being imported. So it's duties being collected, taxes are being paid. Like airsoft and paintball, the spin-off in the Canadian economy, not huge, but it's a constant. These guys are constantly doing it. And, you have to look at it from also mental health point of view. These guys are getting out, they're getting some fresh air, they're getting some exercise, and they're with their friends, they're socializing from a safe distance. That's kind of my take on it.
And I just want to touch on it briefly. Sorry, Todd.
Okay.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, right? Because it's still pretty early on in the in the reading of the legislation, right?
Yeah.
And so, what can we do? One, those change organization petitions are not going to do anything at all. Yeah. So let's just slow down a little bit, take a deep breath, and tackle this more tactically, right? So we are looking at an election year, so this will definitely be an election issue. We are currently in a minority government, and will likely be in a minority government again when election is called. So you can tap your local MP if they are with the residing party right now, which is Liberal. They're definitely going to vote along the party lines, but you can let them know that your vote will go elsewhere if they don't either vote down or remove the bill from Parliament. Yeah. Second is you can contact anybody who has a portfolio under the ministry, tourism, sport, all of these things, and let them know that you do not support this bill. And writing letters versus emails has far more impact. And lastly is to educate those around you who are able to vote about gun rights, about paintball, about airsoft, and about how this has really little to no impact on actual crime. And this is just a Band-Aid, knee-jerk reaction and pandering for votes coming up to an election. So, again, let's do this diplomatically. Let's not preach to the choir. You don't have to go on every paintball forum and say this is horrible and just sign this petition. It's really about bringing more people into awareness into our sport and protecting that. So, you know, go to the right avenues. Yeah, for sure. And we tagged the CCRC in here as well. When we get more information, we'll try to follow up in the next couple of weeks. We'll present it. Right now, it is where it is. We're still trying to get the information. So if you guys want to do your own research, by all means. And this right now is affecting Canada. So again, I know Australia has been going through it and other nations, but we'll maybe come back to the subject another time. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, if you guys are watching us, thank you for doing so, whether you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook Live right now. But this gets translated into a podcast, which can be downloaded anywhere that you guys get your favorite podcast. So if you don't have the ability to sit on Facebook for this long, go ahead and download it on your podcast platform, and you can listen to us at work, wherever you guys want. I want to move on, though. We want to talk about the topic at hand tonight. We want to talk about weather. What is the worst weather that you guys would actually play in, and what would stop you? And then when we're done that, we're going to move on to Gavin's topic tonight about behind the bunker in the movies. But let's that's right, baby. But let's talk about the weather. So I know, Joe, at the field, the only time that you let people play rain or shine, the only time you ever stop is lightning. So I mean, that's an obvious safety factor. But let's put all of that aside. Let's talk about you as a player. What's stopping you from playing? And I know there's some fair weather players out there that as soon as it gets below 10 degrees, they're out. What about you guys? Josh, you've got some submissions that were sent in on all the social media channels. What are they saying out there? So we got a great comment by Jason Kerr, who says, I'd play in all weather. I work in it. So he's the hero of the chat so far. He didn't have a heart attack? Yes. A young player by the name of Dion Sharma, I think I said that right, says anything above 25 degrees. Those who know me know. Oh, dehydration, Dion. That's right. No one knows Dion, so let's move on. David Stockholm says it's not the weather, but the booze that distracts me the most. So I'm not sure how one would get distracted by weather, but booze is delicious and tasty. Top fan of the show, Tommy Gunn, says just the weather in my tummy after a night of spicy chicken wings. You mean your crap factory? You don't say tummy. Yes. No man says tummy.
A good old case of the mud butt.
Yeah.
Matthew Petrushuk says thunderstorms cause. That's when you guys blow the air horn and possibly stop the game. So he's just blaming everyone else. So that's fun. Next up, but Nick Sweet, a friend of ours from Michigan, says the only thing that stopped our field is lightning. And apparently a tornado that showed up one day.
Yeah.
Jason Diff says Arizona Summers? FML.
Yeah.
Whatever. Second last one, BFOZ55 says maybe Sharknado. Any movie with Tara Reid is a great reason to stop playing paintball.
No, my friend. There's still a shot. There's still a shot.
Was she in Twister? No.
Titty
No.
Twister.
Who cares? Move on. The last comment, and number one comment, Steve Fortain says COVID, apparently.
Yeah. Too soon, sir. Too soon. Gavin, what about you? What's stopping you from playing?
So it's already mentioned lightning, but I do recall being at Canadian Carnage, and it wasn't lightning, but it was like monsoon type rain, and it had nothing to do with fair weather players. It's just that you couldn't see because it was a sheet of rain, and the intensity of it, you couldn't hear anything either, so it became really unsafe. So we couldn't take the field because of rain, and I've never experienced that before. So if you lose visibility and and the ability to hear what's going on, and it just becomes unsafe, then I'm off the field.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's ever made me stop playing, because we played. I mean, Joe and I played in snow. We played in, we went to many a fields in different states, and we had to play in rain. We had to play in all kinds of nonsense. But I think the worst thing that makes me want to stop is the heat. When the heat is that bad, a Canadian summer day where it's so hot and humid, you just sweat standing there. That's the only demotivating time where I really haven't really wanted to play. And the only time that I've actually stopped playing is, again, this was with Joe. We were at another fellow's field in London, and it was in a morning when it was so humid that we couldn't see past the shots through the end of our barrels. Meaning, whenever we would shoot,
using CO2 and it was big plumes.
Yeah, there'd be a
clouds.
huge plume of cloud at the end of your barrel shooting CO2 that you couldn't see past. So you almost had to shoot, then step to your left 3 feet to see where your ball went. It was so frustrating. Thankfully in the afternoon it cleared up, so we were able to play. But those are really the only conditions. And I mean, aside from lightning, let's be real. But we've played in days where there's, tornadoes touching down, not at the field obviously, but like, an hour away. Where we played when there's hail going down. I was competing on the field when there was a hailstorm. None of that really is bad. It's really just the heat. I feel. What about you guys, Josh? What are you not playing in?
I'll play in anything, but the one I like playing in the least, as you said, is the extreme heat. Because I always like, if it's raining, you can wear rain gear. If it's cold, you can put extra layers on. Like there's always something you can do. But if it's really, really hot, then there's only so much you can do, because like you can only take off so many layers. And try and drink enough water to keep up, and then at the end of the day you end up with that dull throbbing headache and Gavin yelling at you, and that. So it just takes a lot of beer to get caught back up with the news afterwards.
Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to read somebody's, but the chat's moving so fast. Mike says Can-Am game in 1990 in Quebec was so rainy and humid that he couldn't see anything and his balls swelled. Who else?
Is that on the field? On the
field. I played in a blizzard when I was younger. Not so much now. I don't do well in the cold, says Brian McKee. Joe Kimson just simply says, the heat is on. He and Glenn Fry used to play all the time. Yeah, Bobby Doust, when the mosquitoes are really bad in the swamp. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Do you remember those clouds of mosquitoes you could actually physically see them? Yes.
At the very first field, we had clouds and clouds of mosquitoes. The second field was not terrible at all.
No.
Once the grass was down, and the second field was nice. It was flat and rolly.
I remember the first field
bad.
inhaling, like as you're
Oh, I
crouched
know.
down behind your bunker and you're shooting pump, and it was CO2, which attracts mosquitoes as well, and you're actually inhaling mosquitoes. Disgusting.
Yeah. But lunch,
We used
you
to
weren't really that hungry.
No, you got your
We used to
protein in.
smoke cold. We'd be wearing just goggles only. Really, in the early days, we'd have our faces painted, and we'd all be smoking Colt cigars to keep the mosquitoes away from us when we were playing. It was crazy times. But that's not the
Rennick
weather.
1133 says Louisiana monsoon levels. Rain is the norm. Yeah. What about that time that you were in Vietnam and the rain was coming up at you?
Yes,
Staying in rain,
Staying in rain.
sideways rain.
Rain.
Josh, we asked you guys. Joe, did we get to you about whether you wouldn't play in?
No, I'm not a super proponent of playing in the cold weather. I don't mind the heat. Tuesday nights when it's super hot in the summer, it's fun because you're creeping around in the long grass. Yeah, you're sweating, but it's awesome. And I would play in rain in the summer because it's hot and I'm not going to get a chill. So I don't mind playing in the heat. I think I'm beyond playing in the cold. If I'm going to go out in the cold, I'll shovel the snow or go skiing. But I don't want to play in the cold anymore. I don't even want to stand around having witty banter with my friends in the cold.
And what really sucks as well is, as Axl Rose says, the cold November rain.
Hey, it's a topic for another time, but the best time to play paintball is in the evening, on a summer evening when the temperature's dropped and it's that perfect temperature, right? That's us. But Gavin or Josh, do you mind if we move on to something different, or did you get all your things in?
Just show. You do what you want.
Sounds good. Well, I'm going to tell you something, Josh. Did you know that Planet Eclipse has more championships, new mechanical markers, new electronic markers, hey, new territory, including the new MagFed division? Get Planet Eclipse, ladies and gentlemen, and take on the world. Check out the new EMF 100. Pretty much our whole panel's favorite gun right now.
When the world's greatest players, photographers, and expected parents need the best coverage, most vivid colors, biggest selection, they pull the tab on an EG product. #PopSmoke.
Thick welded seams, stainless steel hardware, multiple color options makes AirUps the #1 choice for inflatables on and off the field. Made in America by Brent Davis and his crew. Make sure you get airups.com.
Dreams fade. Ruthless paintball products, colors, sublimation, and craftsmanship never die. On or off the field, Ruthless keeps you fresh. Use the promo code BTB15 for 15% off your order.
Adapt, create, and win. Exalt is in our blood. And in fact, it is our blood type. So make your game boil. Get Exalt, which is available worldwide.
From the beginning, you stumble down a rocky cliff or wade chest deep through a mosquito-infested bog. Now, whether you're sliding into the snake or running and gunning, GI Sports has this gear for you. Now with the Stormer, Stormer Basic, Stormer Tactical, and Stormer Elite.
DLX Technologies, guys, true industry innovators with some of the lightest, fastest, and sleekest hardware in paintball. DLX has the power to get you to the podium. And ladies and gentlemen, that's where you want to be. And I appreciate every one of you guys watching the show tonight and listening. If you guys are watching on Facebook, please take an opportunity to tag our sponsors. If you're listening us anywhere else, please go and like their Facebook, their Instagram, anywhere that they present their social media, and do follow them. We get a chance to choose who sponsors us, and this is who we choose. So check them out, ladies and gentlemen. Paintball Extravaganza. I have nothing to really just tell you about it other than something's coming up. Pay attention to Behind the Bunker social media channels over the next couple of weeks, and we'll tell you a little more, little something that's happening. Last week, Gavin came up with a question for you guys, and we talked about it briefly. If Behind the Bunker was a movie, who would play our roles? And you had an opportunity during the show to tell us, and we want to see you guys right now. If you want to post up in the live chat who you guys think. We'll go through this pretty quick, but I thought it was an interesting exercise. Gavin, what did you had a couple people send you some messages?
Yeah, so first I do want to give credit to where credit's due to Dan and Hardy, who, he spearheaded the conversation, and I loved it, and I piggybacked off it. So he wanted to know, will there be a BTB movie? And I took it one step a little bit further. And so, he was grateful for that, and he actually contributed to it. So I'm not sure if you have some images there. So the first image is of the character who will be playing me, I think. Yeah. So the first one is it's the guy from Super Troopers, Jay Chandrasekhar. Yep. So that would be Gavin. And the character playing Todd would be Owen Wilson.
I don't like that.
I can't believe I'm an actor, Wilson.
Yeah.
Good for you.
No, I don't like that.
Joseph P. is the coolest of the whole cast right there with Bruce Willis. And sadly, Josh gets stuck with Brian Poshet.
What?
But
yeah,
I
look
think
at that. That's you, Josh.
But I think Joe got stuck with Bruce Willis from Hudson Hawk, though.
Okay, so
No way, man. I got
he's going to sing and dance the whole time.
The worst movie ever. Yeah. Thank you guys for the suggestions.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then Zane Smith. Was it Zane or was it who was it that said we were the A team? I like that one too.
In Zane Zaniac, Zane Smith says we were the A team. So Todd would be Face Man. Mr. T would be Zuby. He pities a fool. I would be Murdoch. Clearly, I'm unstable, and Hannibal would be Joe. He puts the whole plan together.
Jason Cooper says Gavin could be Kevin Hart, but then David Reed says, what about Robert Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder?
I love that.
What about Jason Cooper says Joe could be Vin Diesel?
True.
Yeah, that's great. Sorry, that was just in the YouTube chat. I haven't had a chance to read the...
That's funny.
That's good. So here we go. Oh, Bobby Doust. Gavin the Rock. Now, I love Gavin, but there's a huge difference between Gavin and the Rock.
No, we go to the same gym.
Zuby Nick Foley. Nick Foley, I like that. Nick Foley.
The wrestler?
No, the gentleman that lives in a van down by the river. Todd.
That was Chris Farley.
Yes, but
I know.
His character was Mick Foley.
Chris Jericho. I don't know who Chris Jericho is. Is he a wrestler guy? And then Joe Stone Cold Steve Austin. Actually, those are pretty good. Hudson Hawk was a bad movie. Love it, says Robert Hansen. Todd can be played by Pauly Shore. No.
Yes, please, buddy.
Matt the Crypt is played by Brad Pitt, according to Sebastian Meunier.
Dreamy.
That's great. Ben Stiller says Jason Cooper would play me. I don't know. You guys pick your own.
Hold on. Steve Couchy says, depends on which rock, Gav. What the hell are you talking about?
All right, well, pick one for yourself. Who do you think would best represent you?
With my beard right now,
Steve Buscemi.
It's not PC. Who, you? Yes. I'm going with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Aziz Ansari.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
Aziz is too Weasley to play Gavin.
Look at me. I'm a Weasley dude. There's nothing manly about me.
Yeah.
Who's the guy what show am I watching? That could be you, Gavin.
Yeah.
I don't know what his name is.
I don't know. You watching a lot of Bollywood these days?
No, I'm not. Ding, ding, ding.
A ding-a-ding-a-ding.
Ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding. What else am I watching?
Todd Gack can play me. Yes, Seb.
Okay, do you want to know who I had?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, for Todd, I had John Slattery. I think is how you say his name, or Slattery.
Stamos?
Sure. Joe Ben Kingsley, because they're both old and know a lot of stuff.
Thanks.
That's horrible.
Gavin Sharma, I had Samuel L. Jackson, because they share a similar complexion, and Samuel L. Jackson is in everything.
And I have a propensity to say the MF word a lot.
Yes, that's true. Me, I had Michael Chiklis, because we both seem just as angry and bitter about everything. And Matt could be perfectly played by our best friend who calls in the middle of the night, Bob Sacramento.
Yes.
Because we've
Yes,
never
I
seen
agree.
him.
Phoenix. She says Todd could be Tom Hanks from Sully. I would rather be Tom Hanks from, is it Lost? Not Lost. Which is the one he's on
Castaway.
the desert? Castaway. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for Gavin to go, Todd, look at me. I'm the captain.
Whoa. Aziz has been canceled, though, says Steven.
He needs a comeback, and that's for the BTB movie.
He's back already.
Rob-
Dave Chappelle, then, for Gavin.
Bab Spisser says Rob Corddry for Joe.
Bobby Dukes.
That's
I'm
great.
gonna have to leave. Just kidding. I have to look at the guy I think Gavin could be, but I have to find out what show I was watching with. You guys keep going, and I'll figure it out. I'm looking on IMDb right now.
Josh, we have some of your custom corner stuff to get to, but I'm going to put that on pause because we're getting close to the end of the show. We'll save that for next week. I have Prices Right, which we'll save till next week as well. Just a reminder, guys, if you guys are watching us on Facebook, we have a little bit left. Then what we're going to do is we're going to say goodbye to you guys, but we're going to continue to broadcast on YouTube and record our after show for our podcast listeners. So if you guys want to hear all that, you can stay tuned on YouTube, or you can just simply go to anywhere that you get your favorite podcast from and download the whole show, including the after show. Now, our Australian friend here, I want to say thank you to anyone from Australia who's been downloading and watching us. We had an uptick of 800 downloads over the last, it was last week that they did this, that was specifically from Australia, and I don't know why or who did that or how it transpired, but somebody obviously shared it, and I want to say thank you to all of those guys. And for all of you guys watching or listening rather from Australia, hello, nice to see you.
Hey, Gavin, I found who you are. Cal Penn.
Yeah. No, I did see that on one of the posts. So
That's who I think, and then Josh could be Woody Harrelson with a beard.
So at least
Todd
this
could be Owen Wilson.
No.
Our friends from Australia, so at least Connor Bryant and Steve Couchy are in the chat that I'm aware of from Australia, so we do appreciate your support each and every week and what you're doing to grow our program there as well. So appreciate you guys. Stay safe.
Steve, I have sent you a check, and it's written in crayon, so hopefully it will be cashable. Steven also says that Matt could be played by Dalai Lama. There you go. Very nice.
Because he's dying?
What is this? Australia? Must thought it was Pornhub. Oh, yeah, someone posted us on Pornhub in Australia. Obviously, Zane's been having fun with his VPN server. Checking out Pornhub in Australia. Good for you. That's truly for someone who likes people going down under. All right, so why don't we move on, ladies and gentlemen? If you guys are watching us on Facebook, we're going to say farewell to you. If you want to continue to watch us live, we're going to head on over to YouTube. And if you're watching us on Facebook, please hit that like or share button on the way out. That definitely helps us every week. And it was nice to see you guys. And head on over to YouTube. Our channel is live right now with this live show. And if you guys are listening to us on our podcast, stay tuned. So for all of you that are listening on Facebook, farewell to Joe and Gavin and Josh.
Don't be a freeloader. If you liked what you hear, make sure to hit the share button below. Also follow us on our social media outlets like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, ICQ, and now MySpace. If you want to join the conversation, post your comments and we might read them on the show.
All right. So if you guys are watching us on Facebook or listening to us on our podcast, welcome back. That was a fun show, and I appreciate all the good. For the most part, we had good suggestions on our actors that played us. I feared it was going to go way worse than that.
We just got to find somebody to bankroll it and come up with the actual storyline.
Yeah. Josh,
So
did you say who you want to play yourself? I think I missed that.
Yeah, Michael Chiklis.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. Joe, did you suggest who you wanted to play yourself?
No,
Sergeant Emery?
if he was bald.
I think Joe is arrogant enough he wants to play himself.
Bruce Willis can play me. That's
Nobody
nice.
can do Joe but Joe.
No, I guess someone could do me. No, I didn't mean it like that.
You can find Joe on Tinder.
I always kind of thought the field owner from Bobby Dukes could actually play Joe pretty well.
No way.
Yes.
Big and lumpy? No way.
Similar build, similar hairstyle. Like
You're insulting Joe and he's sitting right next to you.
I don't even know what this is. Bobby Dukes. Have I seen that movie?
Blackballed.
you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Did I watch it?
That's like
You're supposed to.
a passage that every young man that plays paintball
Oh, maybe
should watch.
I did. I did watch it. That's the girl one. Yeah, I watched it. Bobby Dukes.
What are you going on a girl one?
Black Bobby. I watched
No,
that
that
one.
was the other. That was the direct damage one. Whatever that.
Oh,
Splat.
direct damage. That was
was
a
Splat.
horrible
That was
movie
Splat.
that you guys made me watch.
You watched it. You liked it.
I actually didn't mind it. It was terrible, but it wasn't bad.
I'm sure at the time, like it was not too terrible, but that was terrible.
Yeah. So I don't know. That was a fun show. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was good.
I enjoyed that. And I don't know
Glad
where
someone
everybody's
did.
coming from with all of the shares last week or all the podcasts. That baffles me. There's also a radio duo out of Toronto that I follow that they were put back on terrestrial radio even though they were on podcast form for years, and they gave up on that too, and they're back to just doing podcast.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Well, speaking of podcasts, I do recall our claim to fame when we kicked Joe Rogan's ass, and I will always, forever, be very excited about that. So I know this is sort of pre-podcast, but this guy's making millions of dollars now on his podcast.
Yeah.
Hundreds
money,
of
damn it.
millions.
Where's our money, damn it?
Okay, but with that kind of money, can you not afford a proper set? I mean, our studio doesn't look bad, and it was done on a budget. His at that budget should look awesome.
He had that built
I know.
purposely for that. I was like, what is? Now he explained it one show what he was trying to do, and I was like, I kind of understand that, but I was like, there's so many better ways to do it. But whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Here we are, trash talking his studio. He's the one with the $100 million Spotify deal.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
we're also not trying to be canceled by the Spotify employees, so maybe we are doing something right.
Yeah.
I will take $100 million and get canceled. I guarantee you I
Yeah,
will.
really, you
I'll sell
cancel
out.
me all day long.
You know
Twice.
what?
Depends on that terms and conditions. Was that 100 mil up front, or is it throughout the years type thing?
Ryan McGee, I have to
Doesn't
apologize. I do keep forgetting to mention that you are generaling the paintball game in French Lick. We can't get past French Lick.
Yeah. French licks I'm sitting sideways.
Okay, we've
Seat up.
been through the United States enough, going through these small towns and stuff, and I have to say, what the hell is up with the naming of some of the towns in the United States? Like French Lick, that's not like it's funny now. Who came up with that? Like 100 and something years ago.
Okay,
I
Somebody's
think
like,
a lot
"We
of-
can't
Can't
say-
say- okay,
French
we
Lick."
can't say anything
Like,
at all.
what
There's dildo, or Newfoundland, right?
But,
There's
okay,
dildo.
It was probably named dildo long before dildo was a dildo. Right? French Lick is always French Lick. It means the same thing the whole time.
There's just a lot of cousins living in French Lick. Leave them alone. Someone says that Joe Rogan just moved his studio, but his new studio, which is in that purple
Population of French Lick
sphere.
is 1,841 people.
Hmm.
Is that
Historic
not enough to get
mineral.
signatures to change the
Preston could have been called French Lick. It's known for its historic mineral springs.
David Reed says
Is that what
there's
they
a
call it?
toad sucker or a toad suck Arkansas.
Love
sorry,
it.
awesome.
Arkansas. I'm sorry, toad suck Arkansas. Yeah, there's Swastika, Ontario.
Yeah,
I think they
true,
changed
yeah.
the name. That's near us.
Yeah, it was the birthplace of Larry Bird.
Yeah, French Lick.
Larry Bird.
French.
Yeah.
There's a winery in French Lick.
I can just see Joe at home all day on his phone. French Lick, all by himself. No one around. Just,
I drive down the street chuckling to myself. Going French lick.
I'm still waiting for Joe to get his Starbucks cup and have French lick written on it, spelled wrong.
I'm still waiting for the mayor to give him the key to the city. Thank you. Thank you for exporting our official greeting.
Nice.
Maybe I can get a job with tourism at French lick. Going French lick.
It's just Joe in a kissing booth.
I think they need to have a fundraiser to make a new sign at the entrance to their city, but this one having a mechanical tongue and then Joe's sound effect as they're driving past him.
Joe's face on the bottom
There's
corner.
a place in Pennsylvania.
And have it near a well.
Pennsylvania called Intercourse.
Yeah.
Moonbeam, Ontario,
French lick is still the best.
says Zane.
How about the strangest city close to you? The strangest named city close to you? That'd be a good question.
Well, there's Balls Falls in
Balls
Niagara.
Falls. But
Which gets me every time.
Intercourse, French lick.
I think French Lick is Intercourse's sister city.
It is.
Okay, I officially suggest renaming Frenchman's Bay at Flag Raiders to French Lick Bay.
French Lick.
French lick.
Just so when Joe's doing the rules in the briefing, he can do that.
I'd like to welcome everybody to Flaggers. You'll be playing a variety of different games today, and you'll be going to French lick.
Dave Reed says there's also a Wiener, Arkansas. Arkansas? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a Wiener, Ontario, too.
I forgot people are still listening to this.
Yeah, it's not just us.
Hang on, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Some people might not be listening to this.
Yeah. Lisa Weber says Hell, Michigan. I forgot about that place. And Kitchener used to be called Berlin. Wasn't New Berlin, it was just called Berlin, I believe.
It's Berlin,
It was just Berlin.
Yeah. Balls Falls is under Wiener, Arkansas, says David Reed. Oh, now you're just taking it too far.
Just take the 101 Taint Highway down there.
Oh, but it's like always winter down there because it's salt all over the road.
Oh.
Well done, my friend.
I thought I was going to get.
Done.
I thought I was
going
to
move on.
A place called Fertile, Iowa.
Yeah.
Hell in Michigan, but that doesn't count. Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Those are Los Banos, California.
Zane Smith simply says the after show.
Exactly.
If it's what you're waiting for, I apologize. Oh, well. Well, why don't we start wrapping up here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to let you guys go. If you guys are watching us live, head on over when we're finished here. In just a moment, Go Sports is now live, interviewing one and only Ollie Lang. So if you ever wanted to listen to one of the best, arguably one of the best paintball players of their time, head on over to Go Sports and check them out. Gavin Sharma, thank you for being on our podcast and our after show.
Yes, sir. So wonderful to be here, and we sincerely appreciate everybody who tunes in, shares, listens, downloads, all that wonderful stuff. It's Monday night. We love having you along for the ride. Make sure you join us next week as well. Thank you so much.
Joe Kimson from Flaggers Paintball.
Thanks very much for tuning in and listening to us as we talked about different things tonight on Behind the Bunker. We'll see everybody next Monday night at 8 p.m. Be safe, be well, and see you soon.
And Josh Subizabrickas.
Yes, thank you all for watching. Again, thank you to all of you who took the time to like and share the show. It does make a big difference. I know I say it every time. Please continue on, carry on, and don't forget to have your local airsoft population spayed or neutered.
Very good. Thank you to Matt for pushing all the buttons and producing the show tonight. And we'll see you guys next week. Hello and welcome to Behind the Bunker. If you like tonight's show, it is turned into a podcast, and you can find hundreds of them at Apple Podcast or through Spotify or any other podcast platform in the known universe. If you want to watch tonight's show, go to YouTube and launch a search. They are all there. We release a new podcast every Monday night at 8 p.m. If you want